In this video, we're going to be going through 7 culture shock experiences. If you're moving to Barbados, well, these are some of the ones that I experienced when I moved to Barbados. So I'm going to go through 7 of them, and let me know in the comment section if you've lived in Barbados for a period of time. Let me know what your own culture shock experiences were in the comment section below. All right, let's start with number 1. Let's get this out of the way first of all. The cost of living is high, but the quality of life is also high. So this is something that was very interesting to me, that I found very fascinating, because cost of living is something that is very objectively measured in the world today. Like, if a country has a high cost of living, it's not a matter of subjective personal opinion. It's just objectively high. And Barbados is one of those places that has objectively high cost of living. There are places in the world that are higher, obviously, and places that are lower, but it's just what it is. However, the part that was very interesting for me is that the quality of life was also very high. Now, in places where there is high cost of living, usually it can be anything from the quality of life is just average, like everywhere else. Like, people say, I don't know why this thing is so much more expensive, but we're getting the same value as in other parts of the world where it's not this expensive. And we also have in some parts of the world that have high cost of living where the quality of life is low. Like, you're paying more, but you're getting less for the money you're spending. A very good example is many parts of the United States, right? Especially when it has to do with medication, drugs, right? People have paid hundreds and thousands of dollars to get bad healthcare treatment, and they can get it so much more affordably outside the United States for the same level of treatment or even better healthcare, right? So that's what you generally expect. You generally expect that the cost of living in places where the cost of living is high, you either expect that the cost of living is high for the same quality of life or for lower quality of life. But in Barbados, one of the things that surprised me is that there is actually a good quality of life, high quality of life with the high cost of living. So you have 24 hours lights, 24 hours water, you have decent public transportation, you have public parks, public playing fields for sports like football, volleyball, road tennis. They're just freely, easily accessible to the entire public. You have public gyms. You have good social amenities, public safety and security. There is overall good quality of life, right? So that was the part that for me I felt was a new thing, because cost of living being high, I mean, there's so many parts of the world where you have high cost of living. But pairing that with a good quality of life, there are few countries that have that pair going on for them, right? I must say, however, that this is not the case across every part of Barbados, like every facet of Barbados. There are some parts where things are really expensive and you're just getting exactly what other countries are getting. But in general, you tend to have good quality of life. Okay, so why is that the case? I think that is the case why the cost of living is high, because most of the products are not produced here in Barbados. Most of what is used here is imported. So, and Barbados is in a very tight corner, like I've said in many of my videos, that you can't just start building very large industries in Barbados to rival some of the industries that we see in countries that have bigger land area, right? So you can't just have all these big, ginormous factories and industries here. So Barbados is going to need to import for a good number of years to come. But I think that part of what can be done to offset it is if Barbados is able to break into new industries where it is selling things that foreigners are willing to invest a lot of money into Barbados to see, then Barbados will be able to increase its economy even faster than it's currently doing right now, and that will offset some of the costs that are expended with all the imports that is happening, right? So if you have like $100 to buy something and you have to import that thing, and so you're spending $100, you're going to feel like it's high cost of living. You're going to feel the high cost of living a lot. But if you have more money, you have $200 and you still need to import stuff, the cost of living isn't that, you don't feel it as much. So I don't know if Barbados in the foreseeable future will be able to reduce the cost of living significantly, but I think that if the government plays its cards right and if the people play their cards right, Barbados can get to the point where individuals and people in Barbados have more money, have more disposable income, more revenue generate. You get the point I'm trying to make. They have more money, so when they spend, they don't feel it as much as the way it is right now. But that is a topic for a different video, and probably somebody can explain it in the comment section if you understand this more than I do. But anyway, let's move on. So the second one is that there are 24-hour shops. This was something that I found surprising, right? There are some shops that are open 24 hours, especially the gas stations. Seoul gas station, Rubis gas station, open 24 hours. It's very nice. Now, this is not a very common thing across the world. It may seem common in this part, but it's not very common across the world, because you will usually see it in places like the US, East Asia, so places like China and Japan, and some parts of Europe. There are some other countries that have some 24-hour stores, but generally, when night comes, most people close down their businesses and go home, right? The entire country closes down businesses and goes home. And the only places that will be open will be emergency services. So fire, law enforcement, hospital, emergency department, and maybe, I don't know, ambulance or something like that. But you don't generally see grocery stores and restaurants and all of those things open in many countries in the world. So finding 24-hour shops in Barbados, that was very nice for me, because sometimes, as you're seeing in this video, I just like to wake up in the night and drive around and then maybe stop at a shop and walk around or something, stretch my legs, or even buy a snack or so. So finding out that there are people on the road and there are places that are actually open and you can go and buy something there, especially if you... This was also very helpful for me when I first moved to Barbados, because when I first moved to Barbados, I arrived late in the afternoon, evening, like that. And by the time I was settled, like got my house, was able to contact the Airbnb guy and everything, it was already night. So the 24-hour shops really helped, because I didn't have any food, I didn't even have water, I did nothing, no snacks. So I was able to go out and buy stuff, and I really liked it. So if you come to Barbados in the night, you're not going to be completely stranded. You will have the basic things you need, and you'll be able to buy them and be good for the night. And then in the morning, you can go about your normal business. So that was something that was really, really nice. And technically, it's not a culture shock. It's just, this is the first country I've been to that I saw it, and that is why it was very nice. I particularly like it. So I've never been to the US, so I don't, but I know that it exists there, but this is the first country that I met it. Okay. So number 3, Sundays and public holidays are empty. Now, if you've lived in a country, or you come from a country that is very religious, or a state that is very religious, you know that many shops are going to close their shops on Sundays. This is normal, right? But if you're coming from a country that doesn't have this culture or this practice, it may seem shocking to you. I remember I had to explain it to someone, a tourist that was in Barbados, and he was not very happy about it. But if you know about it before you come, then you don't have any problems. So what happened in his case was that he came to Barbados. I think he came on a Saturday, and then the Monday after, the coming Monday was a public holiday, and he was supposed to leave Barbados on Tuesday. So he arrived on Saturday. Sunday, everywhere was closed because everybody closes and then they go to church and they stay with family and friends and hang out on Sunday. So Sunday, everywhere was closed. And then Monday was a public holiday and everywhere was closed again. So he basically came to Barbados, had 2 days to spend in Barbados, wasn't able to go anywhere and do anything, and had to leave on Tuesday. So he was not very happy about that. So if you're coming to Barbados, make sure you plan that your trip doesn't land on a public holiday, because many places are going to be closed. And if it's on Sunday, very few places are going to be open, like very few restaurants, very few businesses. If you're living in one of these remote parts of the island, like, you may even see no businesses open in that area. So just know that and plan accordingly when you're coming to Barbados, so you don't have an unfortunate experience like that the guy I met. Okay, so this number 4, I've said it in a couple of videos already. When you hear honking, right? And this, I saw this for the first time in Barbados as well. When somebody is honking at you, they are blowing their car horn at you in Barbados, it is usually a good thing, right? In many other parts of the world, if somebody is doing beep, 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 it's usually like a bad thing. But in Barbados, they're either saying hi, or they are telling you thank you if you helped them with something, or if you let them come out of a T-junction, something, and they want to say thank you, they'll just honk. And it's usually a good thing, right? Or maybe if you're walking on the sidewalk down the street and there is a ZR bus coming behind you, they're going to honk to try to get your attention to see if you need a bus ride to Bridgetown or something like that. So maybe you weren't paying attention, they're going to do like beep beep, and then you get on the bus and you pay them $3.50 Bajan, and then you go on. Oh, this is something else, right? If you're coming to Barbados, the conversion is generally $1 equals to 2 Bajan dollars. $1 equal to 2 Bajan dollars. But interestingly, many people are just going to tell you dollars. Because the currency in Barbados is technically dollars, because it's Barbadian dollars or Barbados dollars, when you're on the island, people are going to tell you prices in dollars. You just hear dollars. So if you're coming from the United States, or you're coming from another part and the only kind of dollars you're used to hearing often is US dollars, you may think that they're telling you the prices in US dollars. No. Usually, when somebody says dollars in Barbados, normally it means Bajan dollars. So take US dollars and multiply it by 2 to get Barbados dollars, or divide Barbados dollars by 2 to get US dollars. That's the easy conversion. If they mean US dollars, you will usually hear US dollars. So they won't just say $5, they will say 5 US. That's how they'll say it, right? This is generally what's going to happen. But if you're not sure, right, there are some restaurants that you may go to, and because they're used to seeing a lot of foreigners and tourists and whatever, they're just used to saying the price of the meal there in US dollars. So if you go to a place and you see that there are a lot of tourists and there are a lot of foreigners and visitors, and it's a very nice tourist attraction place, and you're not sure whether they're telling you the price in US or in Bajan, just ask, right? Just ask. But generally, it's going to be in Bajan dollars. Anyway, moving on. So number 5, people are genuinely polite and helpful. This is something that a lot of people don't know Like, especially if you're coming from places like the United Kingdom, or you're coming from a big city in the United States, like maybe Chicago or New York, or I say city, state, whatever. And you're coming from this kind of places where most people are minding their business. They're very busy. It's a fast-paced society. Everybody is minding their business and stuff. You may think that, especially if you go to Bridgetown in Barbados, where it has a similar city vibe, just not as chaotic and as rowdy, but a similar big city vibe. You may think that all the people there are just going to be people that mind their own business, don't want to interact with anybody, and when they're smiling or whatever, they're not actually being polite. They're just telling you, like, get on with it and get out. But that's not how it is in Barbados. From my experience, the people in Barbados are genuinely polite. Like, if somebody is smiling at you, they usually mean well. Like, they're actually smiling. They're not just putting up a fake smile just to entertain you and get rid of you, like, stop talking to me or something like that. No, they actually polite. They're actually helpful. They're actually, when somebody says, how are you? The person is actually greeting you, right? And I've seen many people come from the US or the UK, and they have like this 2-3 day period of adjustment where they don't know whether people are actually like being nice to them or whether they have done something wrong and people are just being fake nice to them. No, if somebody is being nice to you, generally they mean well. They're not faking it. You didn't do something wrong and they're being sarcastic or something. No, they're genuine. And this is, for me, I think this has the good side and the bad side, because in all these other places that I mentioned, like in different countries, if people don't like what you're doing, they're just going to keep it in and seethe and tell their friends about it or tell the other people around them and whatever. In Barbados, they're going to tell you, right? So just the way they are genuinely polite and helpful, they also genuinely tell you when they don't like what you did. And they won't keep a grudge or hold it for a while and try to be politically correct and find the best way to phrase it or whatever. They're just going to tell you. And when you accept responsibility or you take accountability, the problem is gone immediately. It's the most authentic experience you will ever have. The conversations are real. They are authentic. Nobody is hiding. Well, usually there's always going to be that one weird person. But I mean, in general, most people are not hiding their true intentions. They are genuinely polite and helpful. And when you offend them, they will genuinely tell you what they didn't like about your actions or your words. And it is something that makes you not have problems in society, because you always know what you've done. You always know where you stand with most people. And you don't have to keep thinking, well, what's the best way? People don't... Okay, this is something else, right? People don't just feel offended. just spontaneously feel like you can say stuff and people take the stuff you mean and act on it or respond to it. They don't try to find the offensive undertones under the thing, like, what did you really mean? And I found that offensive and wow. No, they don't act like that. They just take what you say and they believe you mean it, and then they tell you what they mean and you respond to that. And I think that is one beautiful thing that if I can take from Barbados and just spread to the rest of the world, I would do it, right? Okay, moving on. There is something that a lot of people on the island call island time. And many other cultures have it. But in Barbados, I think it's called island time or Bajan time or whatever. In the Middle East, they have the culture. In Africa, the culture is also there. People say African time. And what is this? It's basically if an event, a not so serious event, I should specify, is supposed to start at 4 o'clock. Now, normally you would expect, well, I don't know if this is normal. It depends on your culture anyway. Normally, you would expect that people will come around 15 minutes to 4, maybe 20 minutes to 4, 10 minutes to 4, and everybody will be seated or in their places, and by 4, the event is going to start, right? But especially when it's not like a formal event or quote-unquote a serious event, if the time is 4 o'clock when the event is going to start, many people will be showing up 5 minutes past 4, 10 minutes past 4, even 30 minutes past 4. And it's normal. Like, it's almost like people expect it and they don't get angry. And when you ask, they tell you, oh, it's island time or Bajan time or whatever. Now, I should caveat this. This depends on the seriousness of the event, right? This depends on the seriousness of the event, which brings me to the seventh quote-unquote culture shock. And I read this on a blog that described it like this, that Barbados has a unique blend of British formality with vibrant West African heritage. So there are some events in Barbados that when you look at this event, it's high class, posh. Everything is supposed to be like, you measure in millimeters and every second is important, and the dressing and the standard of the event, like everything is supposed to be fantastic and excellent and all of that. But there are other events or other gatherings that are so laid back, and they're just so relaxed that it's almost as if you've entered a completely different culture. Like, we have gone from this very Western European style of doing events to a very laid back and rich African heritage kind of thing. And if you look at a Bajan, they're able to embody both cultures very completely. It's like you're looking at a human being that has two fully developed cultures that look very little alike or have almost nothing in common, right? And it's fantastic when you look at the same person in the two different scenarios. For me, it's very interesting to see. Because generally how most people live their lives is that if they have one type of culture and they experience another culture that is very different, they generally have one of two responses. Either to forget about the new culture, like just ignore the new culture and continue with their culture, or they try to become like the second culture and leave the first culture that they are used to. You see this a lot when people travel. Like, you travel maybe you're from Pakistan and you go to the UK. You either try to maintain your Pakistani heritage and find other people maybe from Pakistan, from India, from Bangladesh that have similar cultures to you and maintain your culture, or you find a lot of people leaving behind their culture and trying to become more European, more like the UK citizen, more, blend into the new culture. With Barbados, however, the two cultures are Barbados cultures. Both of them. So Barbados isn't a West African culture, neither is it a European British culture. It's like it's both of them, and neither of them at the same time. I don't know how to explain. Like you have to go to all the events in Barbados for you to understand what I'm talking. Like go to a couple of events in Barbados for you to understand what I'm talking about. It's both. And it's not completely anyone either. Like somebody from West Africa will attend the more West African type events and will see the similarities but will recognize that it's different. And when you look at the British one, you also see the similarities, but it's also different. So I don't know how to explain this, but you just have to experience it. You just have to experience it. Now, where the bad side of this comes about is when certain aspects of one culture bleed into another part where it's not supposed to be. And that sometimes I see creates a bit of tension. Like you can have people will organize an event and they want the event to start at 4:00 and they're expecting that people recognize that this is a serious event and it's going to start on time. But whether it's the branding or the communication or the information that was passed about or whatever, the majority of people have the wrong impression and they think it's a more laid back event and they start showing up late. Or maybe you go to an establishment. There are some establishments that do this as well. You go to an establishment and you order something and the thing is supposed to come to your house at a certain time. They will tell you the time it's supposed to come. Like if you order food or if you order something from a store like furniture or something that's supposed to be delivered at your house, they will tell you the time to expect it. We're going to be at your side at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. comes, nobody shows up. 3 p.m. comes, nobody shows up. You call them, they tell you, oh yeah, they're delivering your stuff today. And then your stuff will eventually show up at 6 p.m. or sometimes even 8 p.m. I had a friend that ordered food from, I'm not going to mention the name of the fast food, but you probably know, if you've lived here long enough, you probably know which one I'm talking about. Ordered food and they said they were going to come. And the entire evening passed. Night, midnight, around 1 a.m., they called her and they told her, oh, we will not be coming today. We will deliver it tomorrow. And then they delivered it the next day in the afternoon. So this starts to feel, when you experience this, will I call it culture clash, where they feel like it's okay to be unserious with timing because it's not that deep, like it's relaxed, it's laid back or whatever. When it's supposed to be that deep, when they are supposed to take time seriously, it can have a very sour taste in the mouth, right? But generally speaking, another thing is when one person is too strict. So I talked about when one bleeds into the other, and I'm saying that if people don't recognize that time is important because it wasn't communicated properly or something, that can be a problem. Another problem can be when only one person got the wrong information, or a few people got the wrong information, and they believe that it's supposed to be a very strict formal event or formal type of occasion. And only these few people are trying to enforce that strictness, but everybody else is not responding. It can also leave a sour taste in your mouth. Like, you are the only person that showed up exactly 4 p.m. and everybody else understood that this was supposed to be like a laid back thing, right? So I think it's more, every country is going to have some version of that, But I think because Barbados has this, like that blog I read said, a unique blend of British formality and a vibrant West African heritage. I think because Barbados has this as baked in, because Barbados was a British colony for a very long time before gaining independence and then becoming a republic. So all of that is Bayesian culture now, because many people were born into it. They were not just brought into it from different parts of the world. They were born here and they grew up here. So they grew up with that. But then they still have their West African heritage, which is also something they grew up with. That clash is visible sometimes in events, in interactions with people. You see that clash sometimes happening. And this is the only place that I've seen it happen. I don't know if other countries have similar things where different cultures and way of living, especially when it has to do with a particular, specific, something as specific as time, that can be both fluid and rigid depending on what mode you're operating in. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that or has that in their own country or culture. Let me know in the comment section and let's talk about it. Okay, so that was the 7th one. If you stayed till the end, I have a final 8th one for you. And that is slangs. Slangs mean slightly different things here. So you know how you have an English word, and the English word means it's a little different from what it would mean exactly, but you get it. You understand it because you understand how it is being applied in a slang. In Barbados, the slangs aren't as direct as you would expect. And sometimes they may have the exact opposite meaning of what you would think the slang is. I experienced two examples that I'm going to tell you. And the first one is fresh, right? So if you're a fresh kid, like you're a fresh dude, it means like you're clean, you're put together, you're well dressed maybe, you're a cool guy, whatever. But there is also a slang that means you are rude. Yes, so the same word, fresh, can mean you're a cool guy, you're fun to hang out with, you're a fresh kid, fresh. But it could also mean that you're rude or disrespectful. So you could see someone say, "Don't get fresh with me," which means don't disrespect me. And it's the exact opposite of what you think it should mean. And the first time I heard this, the only reason I knew that it was something negative was because I saw the person's expression. So two people were talking and I saw the person's expression. When he said, "Don't get fresh with me," he wasn't happy. And I was like, well, fresh is making you angry? Like that means fresh in this sentence doesn't mean what I think it means. And it was later that somebody explained to me that, when it's used like that, it means rude or disrespectful. They were not having a fun conversation. One was angry at the other. And that was when I started looking for more of these examples. Like if you hear a word and you see the person's facial expression or reaction is completely different from what you think that word should mean, then they are probably using a very niche slang that you don't understand. So sometimes it might be what you consider a bad word, what should be a bad word, and then you hear it, but the person is happy. It might mean a good thing in this context, right? So I don't know if I've told this story on this channel before, but another example is big man, right? And they don't say it as, you hear big man. If you hear big man in Barbados, it does not mean big man as in a large man or a fat man, or a man of high status or whatever. It doesn't mean any meaning of big man, The big and the man don't mean anything in this phrase. Big man in Barbados is as meaningful and as meaningless as the word yo. Honestly speaking, that's the best way I can explain it. So if someone says big man, he could just be saying yo. And it means the same thing. You could also hear big man as a way to call your attention. You're about to do something wrong and they say big man, that means you should be careful. And that is why I think that is the same meaning as yo, because if somebody is doing something and they're about to make a mistake, you can just say yo, and the person knows that you're correcting them and you're telling them, oh, be careful. In Barbados, you can say big man and they will understand it. I have also seen big man used as a compliment. Like we were playing football and one guy passed to the other guy and the other guy shot the ball and it was a goal. And somebody said, big man. I was like, the same big man is like, congratulations or something. And so in my mind, it was like, maybe he's saying like, yo, that was awesome or something. I don't know. So big man doesn't mean big or man. It doesn't mean anything. The words themselves lose their meaning and then gain a new meaning, right? And perhaps in one of the different phrases and slangs, it could still mean big man, as in actual big man, but I've never seen it used like that. So I think the slangs in Barbados, certain words are picked and then they're just given a new meaning over time. They just baptized as new creatures. All things are passed away and behold, all things have become new. Right? So when you hear a phrase used in a sentence where it makes no sense or it doesn't elicit the reaction you think it should have, people are not responding the way you think they should respond, then you should examine that phrase one more time, and if you still can't figure it out, ask someone, does this mean... I mean, you're going to look like a weirdo for a while, but if you just start with, I'm not from Barbados, please, what does this mean? They will help you figure it out, right? I mean, especially if you look like you're from Barbados, if you're asking what does this mean, you just look like you're wasting everybody's time or you're being weird or something. But if they know you're not from Barbados, they're going to help you understand the slang. And then, more importantly, don't use slangs in Barbados unless you're 100% sure of what it means in Barbados, right? You could take a slang from a different country, same words, same expression, you have something different here. I just gave these two examples, but there are a couple of other slangs that use the same words and sometimes mean the exact opposite of what is being said. So don't use slangs in Barbados if you don't know what the slangs mean. Just speak normal English. Everybody will understand you. Everybody understands normal English in Barbados. All right? So these are the 7 things. Well, 8 because I added one more for those of you who stay till the end. And I wish you a very fantastic Sunday. I will see you same time tomorrow. Right? Have a good day. Have a good week ahead. And subscribe. It makes the channel grow. We are almost at 2,000. Subscribe. Let's hit 2,000 this week. All right? Have a nice day. Bye.